What is going on with Abby Steiner? It is a question that a lot of people have been asking in the track and field world, and I know because I read the comment section. And now, we have at the very least a legitimate update, because Abby Steiner put out a statement, which is now traveling around social media, it's being shared by Phidias and other, reporting outlets, where she is going through a third surgery on her left foot. That implies, obviously, that she's had multiple. And after that surgery, she's going to be, entering into a master's degree program, advancing her education. And because she's recovering, she's going to have to take more time away from the sport. Now, I say all of that because people want to see Abby Steiner run, and I'm in that group. I am not delusional. I remember just how good she actually is. People create a whole bunch of different narratives about athletes, and Abby Steiner is one of them. But I'm just going to go through the facts, because it's pretty clear that we're not going to see Abby Steiner run for a while. We didn't get to watch her this year. It's been a good minute since we have seen her run, and we likely won't get to see her run in the future, at least for another year. So if we do see her on the track, that will be a gift. But people have to understand why it actually matters. Because her getting hurt and essentially, exiting the sport as somebody who was one of the next up and coming stars for Team USA, that changes the landscape of sprinting. It really does give other athletes new opportunities, but also makes you have to ask the question of what would have been if she ran. So that's what I'm here to discuss. What could have happened if Abby Steiner were healthy? And we're just going to walk it through from the time she left college till now. Because when Abby Steiner was in college, in case people forgot, she broke collegiate records both indoors and outdoors in the 200. She made NCAA championship finals in the 60 and the 100 as far as I can remember. Don't get me wrong, she was fast in all these events. And she also ran 4x4s, ran a few open 4s, helped the University of Kentucky at a very high level as they were, competing on the national scene. But at the core, she was a 200-meter runner. And when you have the collegiate record, that's a big deal. And you also have to know whose record she broke. Gabby Thomas. That is the woman whose record she took out. And the only person who came behind and, started taking her records, if you go look, it was Julian Alfred. Indoors in the 200, when that record goes down, it's Julian Alfred taking it from Abby Steiner. So Abby Steiner is being mentioned in between those names, on the historical ledger. That should tell you enough about her talent. The year that she comes out of college, she wins an NCAA championship outdoors in the 200. I believe she was repeating at that point. And then she goes to the USA Championships in 2022 and wins. That makes her the American champion, which I didn't find as surprising because athletes who are at that age and stage, when you're just leaving college at the top of your game, you normally kind of have, I think, a better shot at just, bursting onto the scene and doing something. Because that next year is kind of like the hangover, where you kind of have to, figure it out on what it means to be a pro because you're transitioning from one training system to another. She actually goes over to the Worlds, makes the final in the 200, gets a gold medal running on the 4x4 and running on the 4x1. She ran both. That's important. So pretty successful first world championship, if you're asking me, for an athlete in her situation. But if you're new here, I want to say thank you for even making it this far into the video. And I'm Coach Rob, and if you really want to know what's going on with the fastest athletes in the world, then you are in the right place. And if anything that I say actually connects with you, it is always greatly appreciated if you would please like and subscribe. But if I don't, just let me know in the comment section, because I try to read them all. But 2023 and 2024, we did not get to watch Abby Steiner make it for Team USA, get on the team. And this is when the injuries started piling up pretty immediately. 2023, she was there at the USA's and she ran fast and she almost made the team. But she didn't. And if you remember who actually goes, we send Gabby Thomas and Sha'Carri Richardson, who both get medaled in the 200. Sha'Carri Richardson did not make the 200-meter team this year for Team USA. But the one time she did, she got a medal on the world stage. You see what I'm saying? Just getting out of team, getting off, out of Team USA or onto the team and getting to the Worlds, that gives you a pretty good shot to actually run for a medal. 2024, when we go to the games, Abby Steiner wasn't healthy. But I said before we got to USA's, in regards to her talent, that these other athletes better not let her get healthy. Because we know who Team USA is supposed to send to the games in the 200. if we're talking about straight up talent, remember, Gabby Thomas, multiple medals by this point on the world stage. And Sha'Carri Richardson was coming off of it, an world championship bronze in the 200. So you got to put her right there. Like, that just happened. Shericka Jackson and Gabby Thomas were the only people who beat her that year. Abby Steiner was the next up. Like, if we wanted medals, that was the expectation. But because Abby Steiner was not that woman and was unable to run, 2024 and, go to the trials and take care of business, we ended up getting Mackenzie Long and Brittany Brown, who come on to Team USA. And Brittany Brown actually gets an Olympic medal. You see where I'm going with this? Abby Steiner conceivably could have had that medal. Not to take anything away from Brittany Brown, but Mackenzie Long might not have made the team. And Brittany Brown, in theory, may not have gotten on the podium. The reason why I say it that way is because when you go into the 21s and do it more than once, we're talking like 21-8, 21-7, you're now on a short list of women in the world who can actually go that fast. That is Abby Steiner at her best. The assumption is that she'll be at the very least that level of capability if she's healthy and training and running through an entire season. Regardless, that was then, this is now. 2025, we didn't get to see her. Like, she didn't run at all. And Gabby Thomas does make the team. Melissa Jefferson Wooden is now here. She's a thing, specifically in the 200. And Anavia Battle also comes back. And, although she was at the games in 2020, 2021, she makes Team USA this year, and she's representing in the 200. A healthy Abby Steiner, running at her best, somebody's not making this team. And considering Gabby Thomas was the person who fell off, who fell to that third spot, she would actually not be going to the Worlds this year if a healthy Abby Steiner were running. Like, the chain reaction is actually pretty ridiculous when you understand, like, the talent and, like, who's running and who's expected to do this and that. Hey, we can only go off of the races that we actually have. And injuries are a part of the sport. But what Abby Steiner is dealing with isn't just injuries. These aren't just hamstring tears, quadricep strains, hip flexor issues, like not just the traditional track and field injuries. These are the types of things that can take you all the way out of the sport. When you're having surgeries on your foot, these are the types of moments where you have to learn how to walk again. Forget about training. We're just talking about living. You have to work your way back through that doorway before you can move forward. Abby Steiner is an amazing talent. She was a soccer player and a track athlete who focused on track because it was abundantly clear that she was a generational talent, at least at the NCAA level, when it came to that specific sport. And we may never know what she could accomplish, even if she does come back, because the only person at this point who I've seen come back from injuries that resemble this is Trayvon Burmel. Because Trayvon Burmel was, an Olympic caliber athlete, expected to win things on the world stage, won a world championship medal early in his career individually. But from that moment, the major issues he had with his Achilles, the multiple surgeries, he eventually got back on the world stage and did eventually get another bronze medal at the World Championships in 2022. And he's still running now and running at a high level. But it still begs the question of what if? What would have happened if that level of injury never occurred? Every sport has those athletes, the ones who, show us talent, we get a glimpse, and then the injuries take them out. In basketball, it might be a Grant Hill or a Derrick Rose, people like that. Track and field, Abby Steiner is now in that group. And I'm likely not going to be making much content with her name in it for a while, because there won't be much of a reason to. But if we're talking about talent, who has it? And who has it in abundance? Abby Steiner has to be on that list. And when it comes to American sprinting, if you want a spot on Team USA, hey, to be real, don't let Abby Steiner get healthy. Because if she does, and she comes back, and she runs like herself, one of those spots in the 200 is going to be gone the moment she gets to the finish line. In the sport of track and field, race day is honestly the easy part, because all of the real work gets put in when nobody is watching. When you wear every day is training day gear, you can let the whole world know that your success in competition is not an accident. Order yours at scarecruiting.com/shop or use the link in the description below, and it always comes with free shipping. It's a huge support to me and this channel, so I can continue to make you more content like this. And remember, it is always greatly appreciated if you would please like and subscribe.